Hey, it's Patrick Cristiano, and we are at Meet the Drama Desk nominees for the 2018-2019 season, and we have a host of people we're going to be talking with shortly. We're in the green room 42 at the Yotel Hotel. We're going to meet the Drama Desk nominees now. I'm with Mary Testa, who's nominated for Outstanding Featured Actress in a Musical for Oklahoma. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Does this mean anything special to you?
You know, it's always wonderful to be recognized with your peers, and you know, it's always a little heightened and lovely, and you get a chance to see all the people that you love, and yes, it's wonderful, wonderful.
Well, you've been nominated many times for Drama Desk. Do you know how many?
This is my sixth time, yeah.
I
have one.
And which one did you win for?
I got a special Drama Desk for 3 decades of outstanding work, and for my work in Queen of the Mist.
Oh yes,
brilliant piece, and I wasn't nominated. I just was given an award.
Moon.
You know, I love Michael John LaChiusa, and he wrote the show for me, and it was a beautiful, brilliant production, I thought, and it was a great honor to do it. So to be honored for it was, you know.
Well, here you're honored again. Laurie Metcalf is nominated for Outstanding Actress in a Play for Hillary and Clinton. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
One question: what was the? I met you at Meet the Tonys. So briefly. So I heard that they allowed you not to be a caricature in any kind of way.
Yeah, we don't do impressions.
So
of the Clintons.
I know. So what was your challenge in portraying the essence?
Well, I just took all my cues off the script itself, but I don't know what a challenge would be, but what I like to sink into in the Hillary character is her power and her intelligence and her sense of humor and her passion, ultimately.
Yeah. I haven't seen it. I'm seeing it next week, so I look forward to seeing it. So, and his play, you got the other nomination
I know,
for. You're on a roll a little bit, aren't you?
Snape. I am on a roll.
Are you having fun?
I am. I've got all this great material to work with. For an actor, that's a dream come true.
I know you're rushing, and thank you for taking extra time for us. So I hope to see you in the winner's circle at the Drama Desk.
Well,
you are coming, right?
Yes, I'll be there.
We'll look for you there.
Okay, thank
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
So I'm with Corbin Bleu, who is nominated for Outstanding Featured Actor in a Musical for Kiss Me Kate. Congratulations. How does it feel?
It feels incredible. It really does. I woke up that morning, and I didn't even realize that morning there was the nominations announcement, and Stephanie Stiles, my partner on stage, she texted me and she was like, "Congratulations, Corbin!" And I was just going, wait, for what? And she goes, "Drama Desk." I flipped out. I presented at the Drama Desk during my Broadway debut of In the Heights. I presented to Catherine Zeta-Jones for a little night music.
I was there. I was on the nominating committee that year.
Oh, man. And I was always thinking, I was like, I really hope I get to be here one day. And it really is such an honor.
Any special challenges in your role?
Yeah.
So what did you find challenging?
On the ceiling.
No, I mean...
It physically is a very, very strenuous show for my part. First of all, my character in previous productions of Kiss Me Kate, I'm usually not in Too Darn Hot, which is a very physical number.
That number was like, oh my God.
So usually I'm not in that one.
Oh.
And then even Tom, Dick, or Harry, in the first act, is Warren Carlyle is doing things on us that have never been seen before, in a Kiss Me Kate production. And then, of course, it ends with Bianca for me, or Bianca, and I do a whole tap dance on the stairs and on the ceiling, and so physically it is a very, very intense show for me. Every day it takes a lot mentally to just sort of get myself to the place of that output.
Hi, Bev. Now I'm going to be doubling that. Okay, I'm with Joel Gray, who's nominated for Outstanding Direction of a Musical for Fiddler on the Roof, which was incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
How did you do that? You did. I've never seen done in theater.
I don't think I had any choice. In fact, not knowing the language, I just let myself be open to every unusual choice.
You captured an unbelievable spirit of what this musical is all about, and it's embodied by everybody in such a way that's thrilling.
Perfect cast, and they love each other, and we're telling a story that's important.
But you're at the head of it. You have to put all that love out there. You have to be nurturing it constantly. Otherwise, that spirit would not be there. It's just so extraordinary. So extraordinary. I've never seen anything like it in my life. But everybody embodied that loving spirit, and you know it comes from the top, because you see what comes from the top if you go the other way. You know you've got my vote, by the way, because it was so extraordinary. So you don't have to sit here any longer.
No, I love that. Yeah, how old are you?
You mind sharing?
86. 87.
87.
I was just 87.
Well, I love you. So congratulations, and we'll see you at the Drama Desk Awards. It was just, I'm just so honored. I'm with Denis Jones, who's nominated for Outstanding Choreography for Tootsie. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How does it feel?
Oh, it's very exciting. It's a very exciting season. I'm so proud of the show and everybody involved in it, and Tootsie has been acknowledged quite a bit during.
You just won the New York Drama Critics Award, is it?
That is correct.
Outstanding Musical of the Season. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yes.
I'm sure your choreography had a lot to do with that.
Well, I hope that I played some small part in its success.
Hey, it's a musical.
It's a musical. You got to sing and dance. Those are the rules. Yeah.
What were any challenges you faced?
Dave and Robert, I think, made a really smart choice when they adapted the movie to the Broadway musical.
When they're making it modern times, it was a smart choice.
They updated it and kind of addressed the issues that it tackles in a very sort of modern way, which I think was really smart and very sensitive. But they also took it out of the world of soap operas and put it into the world of Broadway musicals.
Which gave you a lot of opportunities, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was like a kid in a candy store for me, because the world that Michael Dorsey and Dorothy Michaels inhabit are that of Broadway musicals, both good and bad ones. So the challenge, but also like a really exciting opportunity for me, was to create choreography that was intentionally terrible for the shows that were not good, and then to see how I could improve my own work in a way that the audience would understand, oh, okay, Dorothy Michaels has had an effect on the show, and now the whole organization is stepping up, and now the choreography is good. But there is something just like, it's a guilty pleasure, but just creating choreography that is supposed to suck.
I was going to ask, how do you create choreography that's not good?
I don't.
As you say, supposed to suck.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more that it's just wrong-headed. Like the intention of the movement is sort of misguided. It's not. You see a lot of shows, and the level on Broadway is always so high. It's always so high. The dancers are incredible, the singers are incredible, the actors are incredible. Like the bar is always set so incredibly high with every Broadway musical that I've ever seen. But finding choreography that just is like wrong-headed is just like, the idea of it is dumb. That feels like kind of the way in to just create choreography that's just stupid, I think.
I thought all of it looked good to me.
Oh, okay.
But I did see that it got better.
Okay. Well, good. Then good. Mission accomplished.
That there was an energy lift that happened.
Yeah, no, Dorothy Michaels has a huge effect on the show that she's in, for every department, for design, for choreography, for the writing, for the direction. Like, what she brings into that production is a magical kind of lift, and I just love it. Just talking about it, I get a little overwhelmed. It's been a very nice experience.
And Scott Brown, who is the co-book writer on Beetlejuice, nominated for Outstanding Book of a Musical. Congratulations, Scott.
Thank you very much. It's really exciting to be here.
It's a nice honor.
It's a really nice honor. Anthony and I cannot believe this is happening, and we're just thrilled to be here.
Well, your show is a wonderful tour de force. I had a great time, and I came to it not knowing anything about Beetlejuice. But I took someone that was a big fan and filled me in a little bit. It's delicious.
That's so great. Oh, that's a unique way to see it, not knowing anything about the movie at all, but going with somebody who knew a lot about the movie. I'm curious now. Now I want to interview you.
Well, what were your challenges?
Well,
because you have a known thing, so what did you try to do?
Well, luckily, Anthony and I, when we were approached by Alex Timbers to do this a long time ago, several years ago, he was very clear, and the producers were very clear that they didn't just want us to slap the movie up on stage. They didn't want us to just take the screenplay and, say, oh, now it's a musical and put some songs in there. They wanted us to dig into it, and we wanted to dig into it because we felt like, the story could be better served with, at least the story we wanted to tell on stage could be better served by Beetlejuice and Lydia being at the center of it. In the movie, Beetlejuice and Lydia are in the movie. They're each in there for about 12, 13 minutes, something like that. That's it. They're really kind of almost tertiary characters in the movie. And, we had an idea for a story that was, that was more centered on those two and their feelings of kind of like alienation and loneliness, but also, being kind of, fun little con artists on their own. So, that's that we were given a lot of leash or rope, however you want to see it. Leash or rope.
Now, your co-writer who can't be here, he is... Tell us who he is.
His name's Anthony King. He's a writer for Silicon Valley on HBO. He's working on a show for Comedy Central right now called Robbie. He's a TV writer. I also write for TV. I write mostly drama. He writes mostly comedy. And back in the day, we wrote a show called Gutenberg the Musical together. And
so I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you if you did anything before, wrote dumb stuff together.
We did. We've actually been working together since we were in junior high.
Oh, so you have a wonderful collaboration together, and you kind of know each other.
We do
a bit.
I think we met when we were 14 years old or something like that. I mean, we grew up in Durham, North Carolina together. We did a lot of theater, like high school musicals.
You're from North Carolina?
North Carolina, yeah, from Durham. And we did a ton of stuff at Riverside High School, which is our high school, and they had a great theater program run by this guy named Mr. Price, and we felt very lucky to be there in that theater program in Durham, North Carolina. We feel very lucky to be here. It feels like a kind of continuous thing of just somebody's been allowing us to do nutty stuff for years. And
I guess any roadblocks that you ran into that you had to reinvent something that you were thinking about doing you couldn't do in the show, and then had to do it a different way?
What was amazing was we ran into fewer of those roadblocks than you would think. Because you look at stuff that's happening, in that movie, like the possession scene with the Banana Boat song and, shrimp cocktail grabbing people's faces and things like that. And you think, surely we won't be able to do this. We won't be able to make people walk through walls. We won't be able to have sandworms come crashing through the ceiling. And yet, Alex Timbers, in his magical way, managed to make most, if not all, of those things happen.
I'm with Justin Ellington. He's nominated for Outstanding Music in a Play, and he's got 2 nominations. Let me get this right. Mrs. Murray's Menagerie and The House That Will Not Stand. Congratulations, Justin. 2 nominations. Wow.
Wow, right. So surprised, so lucky, and grateful. Just grateful for this. Yeah, it's been great.
So tell me a little bit, what's the challenge of composing music for a play?
I think to make sure that you're not upstaging the text. I think of myself less composer, more storyteller. So I'm literally there to support emotion, support subtext emotion that might not be present. Tie scenes together. It's part character and part role.
So you think it's the emotional through line that you get the essence of. That's what you're going for.
Absolutely. We all need to be telling the same story. So how can I generate a melody or chords that will elicit the same thing the text is doing for us?
So what does the nomination mean to you?
It's just a surprise. I'm a head down, hard worker, and I kind of just stay focused, and it's a reminder that people are listening and that there's an appreciation for the craft and the hard work that all these artists do that have been nominated. It's great. That's been the best part about it all.
Does it spur you on?
Absolutely.
Have you had been nominated or won other awards?
I have a Grammy Award.
Oh, wow. Grammy for what?
Working on Usher Raymond's album.
Oh, wow.
Album of the year.
Wow's my favorite word with you, it looks like.
An ASCAP Award. I won a...
Well, I hope with 2 nominations you don't cancel yourself out, because I have a feeling you're probably the front runner otherwise.
again, I'm just happy.
Oh, I'm with Erin Treadway, who is nominated for Outstanding Solo Performance for Spaceman, and we also have her lighting designer, Simon Cleveland, nominated for Outstanding Lighting Design. Congratulations to both of you. So how does it feel?
Amazing. It feels awesome. I'm like floating on a cloud.
Doing a solo show is really going out on a limb.
It is. It's me for an hour and 45 minutes.
Is your story autobiographical?
No, not at all. It's about a woman on a one-way trip to Mars.
Total fictional character?
Completely fictional character. Yes, in every way.
And what's the challenge in lighting her?
Holding the audience's interest for an hour and 45 minutes is very difficult, especially when you're contained inside a tiny space capsule. The whole set, was about 6 feet wide, 8 feet deep, and 5 feet tall, while Erin sat there floating in space for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And where did your show play?
Wild Project, Lower East Side.
Yes. Terrific. For how long?
21 shows, so about a month.
Yeah, I'm with Leslie Kritzer, nominated for Outstanding Actress, featured actress rather, in a musical for Beetlejuice.
You can say that too. That's cool.
Leslie, you knocked it out of the park. It was incredible.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. How does it feel?
It feels awesome. I mean, we've been working on this show for 3 years, so 3 and change. So it's been really nice to kind of finally get here and show, the world Beetlejuice, and to be doing an amazing comedy role, kind of like, finally get to do my thing, which is fun.
What do you mean by finally get to do your thing?
I think a lot of musical theater roles that are written for women that are written for comedic women don't really fully encompass, especially what I do. And so I was lucky enough and they're not written very often. So these writers really tailored my gifts, and they wrote for me. So that is rare, and I owe everything to them for allowing that and also trusting me to contribute to the material.
Everything about it was inventive.
Yeah, it's, here's the thing, too. I mean, I love to dance. I've been able to incorporate my comedy stuff and everything else, and also be able to dance and sing the way I sing. And the reason why you probably don't know as much of work is that I don't get the opportunity to do that, which is why this is special, because it really encompasses everything that I do.
I'm with Claire Warden, who is nominated for Outstanding Fight Direction, which is a category, and you've nominated for 2 plays. Are the two? So you got 2 nominations.
Yes, 2
nominations. Slave Play is one of them, and the other was
Daddy is the other one.
Oh, Daddy! I saw both of them. They're wonderful.
Good. Thank you. It was a joy to work on them.
And they're very different.
Very different, both by the same writer, Jeremy O. Harris. It's wonderful to write with him. He's such an incredible force in our theatre world now for challenging our audiences and our actors and our concept of life and love and sex and fight and violence. And so it's a joy to work with him and to be able to do both the fight work, which I've done for a long time, and also the intimacy direction, which is a new discipline that
Intimacy direction, what does that mean?
Yeah, so it is in the same way that fight direction is about creating violence on the stage. Intimacy direction is about creating scenes of intimacy or simulated sex on stage that puts the actor at the forefront of it with their full consent and their agency. So it's both about advocacy for actors, and it's about creating really nuanced and powerful scenes of sex and physical intimacy.
There's a lot of fine lines to go there, and that's terrific. I didn't even know that existed.
Well, it's reasonably new. I mean, we've been working as a team, my colleagues and I who created it.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We've been working on it for, 15 years, and only in the last 2 years or so has it kind of come to the industry. And a lot of that was, Slave Play was the first off-Broadway show to use an intimacy director, and now Frankie and Johnny and the Claire de Lune is the first Broadway show that just started.
Are you doing that?
Yes, I work.
Oh, congratulations.
So it's really coming as a discipline.
When does that open?
We open end of May. We're in previews now. We had first preview on Saturday. So it's fabulous that Broadway is now understanding the need for this, and then of course it's working in TV as well. HBO use us on all their shows, and Amazon and Hulu and Netflix are also bringing our work in.
I'm with Beth Level, who's nominated for Outstanding Actress in a Musical. Yes, for The Prom. It was delicious.
I agree, and thank you for saying delicious. That's a great way to describe it. Delicious, heartfelt, hilarious, important, magical.
And you were magical too. I mean, I laughed my ass off.
Thank you. Check, please. It is the funniest role I have ever done in my life. And the audience just, the laughs are just amazing. And then at the end, you're surprised because you feel something. Your heart feels this tinge as you cry and laugh at the same time.
And I love the fact that so many people are being moved by your show. Oh.
Me too.
I got it. I'm with Sora Joy Ross, who is nominated for Best Featured Actress in a Musical for Carmen Jones, which was one of the highlights of the season, and it's nominated for Best Musical along with your performance. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. You know what? We finished we closed August 25th, so it's really nice to be remembered as well.
Was there any particular challenges in doing this?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, there was a huge challenge because the number that I have one solo, right? It's called Beat Out That Rhythm of the Drum. And Pearl Bailey made it very famous.
Oh, boy.
So, of course, but she did it like a little bit, it's a little lower. And so mine is like the opera, the opera key, whatever, right?
So yours is more legit.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's all legit for the most part. There's a little belt in there, but yeah, for the most part, it's legit. And let me tell you, John Doyle, whom I love, he had me running all around the stage, and when you're running and singing,
it's hard.
I called my friend Brenda Braxton, Tony Award nominated Brenda Braxton, and I said, "Girl," because she dances and sings a lot. That's what she's known for, right? And I said, "Girl, what am I going to do?" And she said, "Be patient with yourself." She said, "It's great that you have," because I think we had like 2 weeks or 3 weeks of previews, and so she said, just keep pushing along, trust yourself, and it will settle in. You'll build up the stamina, and that's what happened. And so I was really super grateful for those words of encouragement. Brenda Braxton, thank you, girl.
I'm with Jason Michael Webb and Fitz Patton, who are nominated for Outstanding Music in a Play for Choir Boy. The Lynn Meadows produced. It was dynamite. And the music was like... I don't know why it's a main element in that.
Yeah, that's right. It's very exciting. The way that the music was used in this play, I think, is a little different than music is normally used, which is a really exciting thing for Fitz and I to explore on putting this world together.
Yeah, normally it's not such a central element like it was in yours.
Yeah, 5 years ago I did the play kind of cold in a small space. When we convened at the Friedman, I was introduced to Michael, and we decided that we were going to do this thing together. And every day was a total expansion of our creativity, our ability to dialogue. That right up to the last moment, the music was expanding and expanding and expanding. We may never really know actually what it might have fully become because it just kept growing. That's the nature of working with him.
So have you never worked together before?
No, I didn't know a thing about him, and that's what made it so amazing. It's sort of like discovering this. It's like discovering paradise when you didn't know you were looking for it. That's what meeting this guy was, and it was
I'll receive
totally
that. It's a lot of responsibility, but I'll receive it.
Getting it to Broadway, having this particular show on Broadway in this season, that's pretty incredible too.
Well, what was really remarkable about the show, I think, is when we did it 5 years ago, it resonated in a certain way with a certain audience, but not a large enough audience, and I think we all wanted to see the show grow to a larger audience. And what MTC and the good folks who produced this play gave us was the gift of getting a chance to go back in, retool the show, put more music in, find out what else the characters had to say. And Terrell got a chance to expand the story and tell it in the way that I know that we all obsessed and wished that we had a chance to. And what we ended up with was a really beautiful experience that I think not just the audience lives were changed, but I know my life was changed because of the show, and I'm sure Fitz can say the same.
David Carnes was nominated for Outstanding Set Design of a Musical for Beetlejuice. David, it's amazing again, as always, but we go back a long way. I first heard about you with a little set you did for Blackbird at the Blue Heron Arts Center in a little tiny box space. 30 seats, and then you just exploded. Everything you do is extraordinary, and when you did that black box, I said, this man is going places.
That was the first time I was recognized by the Drama Desk Committee, and it was a huge turning point in my life and in my career. I remember the day that kind of everyone descended on the theater, because you know these kind of things. When there's 30 seats in the theater, you know everyone that's in there.
It's 45, I think.
And everyone was like, that was a game changer. And I really do think that like somehow the Drama Desk became like the lightning rod for some attention on me, and it really it quickened. And it's amazing to think that here we are all these years later. I mean, that was 15 or I don't know how many years ago. A lot, 2003 I think, or 2002, and we're here so many shows later. It's incredible. It was my first entree into what it would feel like to really have a theater family. Truly. I see you guys around, and it's like, wow, you knew me as a kid. Really? Now I have
You're
kids.
still a kid to me. I'm with STACEY Sargent, who was nominated for Best Outstanding Actress in a Musical. Let me get this correct. RAGSPARKLAND sings the songs of the future.
That is exactly
and you also just won another award for it, did you say?
We won Best Musical, the Lortel Award for.
Congratulations on the Lortel Award and your nomination for Best Actress. How does it feel?
Oh my God, it's thrilling. It's so exciting. I'm like over the moon. I pinch myself every day. I hadn't done a musical in 6 years, and this was the first musical that I auditioned for after mourning the passing of my dad, and I just went in and gave it my all and dedicated every performance to him. And so I feel like he is a part of this. His life was a huge example to me of just the standard of excellence that he had for his life and his family, and it made me take stock in my own life and see the areas where I may have been falling short or not giving my all. And actually, when I auditioned for RAGSPARKLAND, I was very sick. And I just said, you know what, I have what I have today. This is where I am, and I'm going to just do my absolute
It's live.
best.
It's always, you know, what it is today.
And yes, as long as we're communicating the message behind what we're singing and saying, it's people, I think, recognize truth.
I do
and the
too.
power in truth telling.
So I'm with Andre DeShields, who's nominated for Outstanding Featured Actress in a Musical for Hadestown.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.